Yeah, so first off, let's start with we're interested in our hardware and our hardware only, right?
Okay.
And so the images or any data that we capture is going to be specific to our hardware. So such as the pole, the conductor, the line on the pole, and depending on the hardware, we may use a drone with different zooming or different camera capabilities, right? So our data, we can zoom in down to the nuts and bolts and see the thread on the actual hardware itself. So it's a very, very detailed inspection, and that's all we're focused on. We're not focused on anything else that's outside of that, whether it's someone's backyard, the nearby roads, or personal property.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Vin Nguyen, Senior Program Manager of UAS Operations at PG&E. And today we're out here capturing images of these lines.
What are the requirements that you have to be a drone pilot, and specifically for PG&E?
The requirements to do any commercial work requires what's called a Part 107, and that's a license under the FAA, right? So whether it's with PG&E or anyone else, or even your own personal business, that is fundamental to being able to do work commercially.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as what's required for a PG&E, that varies from project to project, but in general, things that will help with that is having experience with the camera, having experience with working with transmission or distribution assets, right? Or other types of engineering purposes, such as flying drones or capturing images for the purpose of mapping or modeling. So creating a map of a real world environment.
I see. And you can do all that with the drone?
Yeah, so it's in simple terms, just think of a drone as like a flying computer. Whatever you can do with a computer, you can do with a drone, but now it moves, it captures, and it's a great tool to really get the data that we need in a safe, efficient, and cost-effective manner.
Right. So the efficiency factor is really appealing for PG&E as a company, right? Get things done faster and easier. I have to wonder, is that replacing people in their jobs?
So at the center of efficiency is safety. So we prioritize doing everything safely, because without safety there is no efficiency, there is no moving forward, right? So safety and efficiency go hand in hand for all our operations.
Yeah.
As far as replacing people, every technology is going to have values and return on efficiency, but so far I've only seen more people being required in this new field, and it's more like a tool in your tool belt. So just think of you having a cell phone versus a computer. A cell phone has a certain use case for it, whereas it's not necessarily replacing a computer. A computer still has a different use case for it, right? So the two are coexisting. So when we're capturing any hardware, we verify that it's actually the hardware in question, the correct one, right? Just because, as you can see, there's so many poles here that it's very easy to mistake what's needed for all that is out there, right? So we're given a map, and based on that map is an ID of all our structures, right? So we verify the ID and we cross-reference that location to where we are in the real world, and that's one of the key components to making sure that we have the right target.
Is it more difficult, do you think, to operate in a densely packed neighborhood, sort of like a suburban area, versus where we are now?
I wouldn't say more difficult. Each has its own challenges. So in a sparsely populated area, you might have access issues. There may not be roads.
Right.
There may be weather conditions to take into account, such as if it rained, you may get stuck in the mud and so forth. In a densely neighborhood, there's plenty of obstacles around. There could be lots of hazards in the area, lots of trees, not enough landing zones to be accounted for. So each area has its own unique challenges.
Mm-hmm. And on the landing zone, how much space do you need? I see the your circle behind you here, but it seems like you need a wider circumference to safely get the drone down.
Yeah, so the landing mat is where the drone is intended to take off and land into.
Okay.
But the surrounding area next to the landing mat is typically a 20 by 20 feet area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that might be difficult to find in a suburban zone.
Yes, in suburban zone we definitely adapt as necessary, but that's the goal.
That's the ideal target space, right? And then have you had people come up and ask you questions when you're doing drone flights in a neighborhood?
Yes, customers do come up and ask us what we're doing, and
Yeah.
we encourage customers to come up to us and ask us questions. Usually, you can see us by the high visibility vest we're wearing, or
Yeah.
the safety hat, right?
Right.
And also the cones and the landing mat indicating what we're doing. All that we ask is wait until the pilot has landed the drone before asking too many questions, so that way he or she can focus on the flight, perform it safely.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna come back in.
Okay, sounds good.
Coming in.